Go ahead and call the meeting to order at 5:33. Roll call. At-large Cummins.
Here.
At-large Pashton.
Here.
Ward 2 Helm.
Here.
All right. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next is approval of the agenda. There is one change for the agenda under city business, number 4, that resolution. That is a resolution that has already been dealt with and was inadvertently put on the agenda. So it's the only change to the agenda.
I'll make a motion with that removed.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Cummins, seconded by Pashton.
Helm?
Yes.
Pashton?
Yes.
Cummins?
Yes.
All right, moving on to the communications portion. If there's anybody present who would like to address the council for issues unrelated to the public hearings, now would be the time to do so. Hi, Jim. Come on up. Will you just state your name and address for the council?
My name is Jim Yakovitz. I live at 508 East South Street, Tipton, Iowa. And I'm here for building variance. Hello, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Jim Yakovitz. I was raised here in Tipton, a 1992 graduate. My son also graduated from Tipton. I've owned a business here, and I currently work for custom builders in town. I consider myself an exceptional member of the community, and I buy, shop, and work local as well as volunteer. Today I'm here because, as some of you may know, my favorite pastime hobby is collecting and restoring classic cars. I would like to build a hobby shop. The building I have designed with our local custom builders, my employer, would be a 28 by 48 with 14-foot walls, so it could have a hoist inside for my personal use. In doing this, I would have a peak height of 17 foot 8 inches. I have checked on the zoning, and I'm just over the allowed 16-foot height. In discussing with custom builders, this is the minimum I could build without redesigning it. Building any shorter would result in scrapping the entire project, which would be disappointing, and I believe would be a lose-lose situation for everyone involved. I assist many friends with their vehicles, participate in the local cruises, car shows, and promote a fun hobby within our community. Now, I understand what the height variance is to stop unsightly, enormous structures that could impose on my neighbors, but I would like to explain my location if I may. I live at 508 East South Street, a few feet away from the Old Muscatine Road. My nearest neighbors are, CVS, the Cedar County Jail, Lynch Storage Units, and Don Lamb's Farm. The proposed building site is in between my well-maintained home and yard and Don Lamb's 26-foot tall and 30-foot tall barns. My other neighbor is the late Nancy Meyer, as our backyards meet. I have brought with me a Google map photo to show everyone the surrounding structures in my proposed build area. Considering my location, the taxes the new building will bring, the neighbors who have no problem with the build, and the local business that would be building it, as well as myself, I'm asking you that you please permit me to build this shop this summer. Thank you for your time and consideration. And here's the
Jim, can I stop you for just a second? Have you went to planning and zoning and board of adjustments? Because that's who has to approve your variance is board of adjustments. So you need to call Terry and do your building permit application, and then present it to Terry. Then it would go to board of adjustments for your variance approval. This group acts only based on their recommendation.
Okay, so I talked to Terry and he said
The board of adjustments.
okay.
That would be the next step, is you'd have to schedule a meeting with the board of adjustments to approve your variance. And then they would present their recommendation to this council for then the final approval. Does that make sense?
Okay. So that's at the courthouse, or where is that?
No, that's Terry. So have you filled out a building permit and submitted your plans and stuff to?
Yeah, I talked to Terry.
You talked to him already. Okay. And that wasn't his recommendation? was for Board of Adjustments? What was his recommendation?
To get a variance.
Right, and that goes through Board of Adjustments. Yeah.
Okay.
So call him.
Did he mention what he thought the likelihood of getting a variance might be?
The likelihood, or, yeah, because all I'm asking for is 1 foot 8 inches. That's,
Yeah.
because the ordinance is
Well-
16 foot.
Yeah. The state legislature changed some of the requirements for variances effective July 1st, which is July 1st that just passed. The legislature and the governor approved a new law that widens or gives the local board of adjustment more discretion than they had before when it comes to hearing about variances. When are you looking at starting?
Probably around fall.
Okay, but when would you have to order something by, or are you having it built on site? How much?
So I'm building on site, and custom builders. is
Okay,
doing
so
it.
they're doing the project.
Yes.
Okay,
And they says it would, by the time they have the materials, they figure about 6 weeks for EPS to get all the materials, and they can have it done within about 3 weeks as well.
before he or anybody comes back with a variance application, we might want to have somebody from the city attorney firm review with that board what their new latitude is.
Wasn't that for accessory dwelling units only though?
That's a
New law?
separate one.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a separate one.
Okay.
They have opened up a zoning board's ability to consider directional variances. So could include setback, could include, in this case, height. But I'm not a lawyer, and I don't think anybody on the Board of Adjustment is. So it might be helpful before you apply there if we give them some sort of insight on what this change in the law allows them to consider that they may not have been able to consider before.
Yeah, I know my property was zoned agricultural when Don Lamp had it. And when I bought the house, it got rezoned to
Residential.
But there's a 15-foot nonetheless height restriction. Is that
16
foot.
16?
And there's a 30-foot barn like right next to
Okay.
it. And it's off of the, I've got a map here where it is going to be proposed build, but it's off the road. You're not going to see it. It's not on city limits as well. So.
Okay. Well, before you reapply, why don't you check with me first?
Okay.
So we can be sure that the Board of Adjustment has the latest advice on what the law is now before they consider your application. And I'll put in a call to see if I can arrange that tomorrow. I mean, I'll put in the call tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, why don't we do that just to be sure that they have the latest information?
Okay. Then are you Brian, the city manager?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's all I have to say for now, I guess. And sorry I took any of your time up.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just didn't want you to stand there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, one of either, Brian or Terry or somebody will get back to you.
All right. Perfect. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? No? Okay. All right, then we will move on to the consent agenda. These are routine items that will be enacted by one motion without separate discussion unless a council member requests separate considerations. Approval of the council meeting minutes of July 7th, 2025. Doug, can you mute yourself? There we go. Approval of the investment and treasurer's report of June 2025. Approval of the liquor license for Family Foods. Approval of the liquor license renewal for Mitiera. Proposal to replace the budgeted computer equipment. Approval of the Tiger Prowl 5K race for August 23rd, 2025. Approval of the last day for the outdoor pools to be open will be Sunday, August 17th. approval of the THS swim team morning practices at the James Kennedy Family Aquatic Center, and approval of the claims register, which include claims paid under the current purchase policy. Any questions or any of those items need further discussion?
August 17th, how much before Labor Day is that? How many weeks before Labor Day are we closing?
That would be 2 weeks before Labor Day. Right?
I was kind of thinking the same.
I
Why are we
don't like
closing
it.
Mid-August.
He had said he has staffing problems. A lot of his, not a lot, some of his guards are going back to college or they're in sports and not able to with their fall sports schedule covered.
Yeah, he had more coverage last year, and I think he was able to extend it by a week or so a year ago as compared to now. But I was wondering the same thing.
I mean, is it something where you can even put an ad out for temporary guards for 2 weeks? There might be some people that would be willing to work, that are certified. I don't know.
I could talk to him about it.
If
You want to make that, if you want to make that a contingency to that motion.
Okay.
If we can't find anybody, then it would be the 17th.
What about reduced hours? Is there a set number of hours, even if we're only open for
He
3
was,
hours?
he was looking at doing that too. He was able to swing that last year, and he told me over the phone that he wasn't able to this year. But maybe if we make
Or,
that type of ad,
can you close off the lazy river and have enough guards if they're covering the
Mhm.
other portion of the pool, something like that. I just hate to see it.
Hottest spot of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's really the hottest month of the year.
you
yeah.
can only
Yeah.
use the pool for so long outside. You'd hate to cut that off.
I agree.
we'll see what we can find.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve with looking into that first.
Second.
Okay, so motion by Cummins to approve the consent agenda with the review of number 7, seconded by Poston.
Postion,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Helm,
Okay, we'll move on to a public hearing. We have 2 public hearings tonight. We will start with the first public hearing, and that is the public hearing on the sale of the city-owned residential properties. Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Cummins, seconded by Poston.
Postion,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Helm,
This item relates to the preliminary selection of 4 people or business entities that the city would work with on the second set of lots for sale from city-owned property. This was provided for to take input on the council's preliminary selection of new owners for the 4 lots that came up. So if anybody is here for either questions or to give support or to wish to ask for something else, this is your opportunity. After this item, in the city business section, there is a resolution where the city can approve the preliminary decision of these 4 lots or a modified decision. Coming into the public hearing, we haven't received any comments that I know of on any opinion of the preliminary selections or of any opinion about the process that was used. At least didn't come to me. May have come to some of you, but I can't say who or officially what they said for this public hearing. So in order for any of that to be included, somebody who might have had a comment to a council member or the mayor who wants to get it into the record can come up. Or if anybody contacted any of you, if you can say who it was and what they said. We can add that to the record too.
I guess I need clarification on where it left off, because I was under the understanding that we would be notified that the two properties would be offered together. Was that accurate?
That's not the way I understood it.
No, I think we decided that we weren't going to go down that road. That we were going to leave the bids as the bids, the RFP applications as they were.
And did they settle on who they thought was gonna get the one that was?
Unless you're willing or okay to repeat it for the camera and the mic, I'm not sure that they can hear Casey from back there. Would you mind coming up to the podium? And I think generally the council can hear you, but I don't know if anybody watching.
I was just wondering if, did they vote on that then? On the two properties that were up
Yes,
in the air?
yes.
Oh, okay, so that was already settled. Okay. Okay. I guess that's what I was.
And that's the way you folks remember it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, they were awarded separately at the previous meeting. Is there anybody else that would like to address the council? I've lost here. About the properties? No? Okay. Is there any further discussion needed from the public hearing standpoint from the council? Okay. If there's no further input or discussion, then a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Cummins, seconded by Poston.
Postion,
Yes.
Cummins.
Yeah.
Helm,
All right, moving on to the second public hearing. This is a public hearing on the vacancy of the office of First Ward Council Member. Motion to open the hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Cummins, seconded by Poston to open the public hearing.
Cummins.
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Postion,
Yes.
And coming into the public hearing, and aside from the letters of interest that were presented to the council and that are in the meeting packet, I'm not aware of any additional input coming in prior to this hearing. I did send a message to the five, letting them know that there would be this public hearing followed by a resolution where the council can make a selection to fill this opening until election day. I let them know too that the public hearing section could be a place where they, if they want to come up and introduce themselves, maybe not everybody knows you equally. If you want to say anything further about your interest in representing the First Ward, if anybody's here on your behalf who wants to come up and mention their support, that's okay too. But I guess this is an opportunity for anybody wanting or interested in this opening to come up and advocate for yourself, but it's completely up to you.
Don't all jump at once.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, whoever wants to go first.
I heard you say first.
Hello, Judy Jenkins. I think you all know me. Born and raised here, lived here all my life. Fourth generation on both sides. I have, I believe that I have many things to bring to the table just from the time that I've lived here in Tipton and the things that I've done. I've spent a lot of my life volunteering, doing service work. Started as a little kid with the American Legion, which I still do, as well as Camp Fire. I'm currently a Lions member, which does service work. I graduated from here. And after I graduated from Co College, I started my first teaching job here in Tipton. I've spent a lot of years working with not only children, but adults, helping them find housing, things that they need. When I first got my teaching job, I flipped my first house. It was pretty old and dilapidated. And that kind of gave me a desire to help improve this community in whatever way that I can. So after I got married, my husband, we decided to stay in Tipton, raise the kids here. We thought it was a better place than Newton. And we have grandkids in the system as well, going through Tipton school. And my husband and I, since being married, have upgraded a couple houses as well as flipped, I believe, 6 or 7. I was on the board that was the very first original board that got Friends of the Animals up and off the ground and the building. I served on that for many years. Most recently started the nonprofit Claw, which has done a lot of beneficial things for the community, as well as getting rid of a lot of the alley cats that you used to see downtown. I had a desire to help the community even more, the youth and special needs. I purchased 2 buildings downtown, 2 storefronts that were almost beyond repair. They were completely gutted besides the brick. And I was able to open up the gathering to help give youth a place to go as well as special needs. The DRIP grant was very beneficial and much appreciated for that as well. I currently am a part of the Senior Park Board. And I believe that my years of experience, the time and the love that I've invested in this community, as well as my ability to work with city employees over the years, contractors, different businesses, residents, also through providing rental housing and apartments, would be a beneficial asset to this community. And I think that it would just be a privilege and an honor and another way that I could invest in this community and do all that I can to help it. Do we wait to see if we have questions?
Any questions for Judy?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Judy.
Good evening. I'm Kevin Koo. I live at 200 Lynn Street. My wife and I are residents of Tipton for about 15 years. Prior to that, I did most of my growing up in Stanwood, so I've been around the Cedar County area for a while. Actually, I graduated in '76 from what was known as Lincoln Community in Stanwood, many years ago. I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force, where I was a law enforcement specialist. I left the Air Force. I worked in security, and I worked as law enforcement officer for a couple of communities within this general region. I've also got an extensive background in EMS, where I ran a couple of services. I taught EMS classes at Kirkwood Community College, and I just recently retired from the Tipton service. I've got almost 40 years in EMS, so got a little idea. I also have some extensive background in all levels of management, various businesses, which gives me some knowledge on the financial aspects of budgeting and so on and so forth. I have a very strong interest in making the community a progressive community. Back when I was in high school, Tipton was the place everybody wanted to go to. They'd go to the movie theater, they'd come down and hang out in the community of Tipton. I'd like to see that become the jewel again, so to speak. I realize we're in competition with Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Davenport, whatever, but Tipton is family-oriented community, and as such, we should promote those type of things to make our students, our children, whatever, want to come to Tipton and experience some of the history that we have and some of the friendships that can be made here. I also support the community as being a progressive community and looking at ways that we can improve not only our streets or whatever within the city, but also promote bringing more retail in, other industries. This is how we not only stabilize, but we can grow our community. By growing our community, then we're also supporting and improving the numbers in our schools, of course, our property taxes and things like that, all of which then is going to help the community. I just want to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity, and I would be open to questions.
Any questions for Kevin? No?
No.
Right. Thank you, Kevin.
I'm Becky Boland. I think most of you know who I am. I have been a member of the community for the last 30 years. I'm here from Clarence. All three of my girls have graduated from the Tipton School District. My husband and I own rental property here in town. I managed Eaton Agency real estate office for 18 years and sold real estate here. I've had a business in town a couple different times. Right now I have a mobile food vending business, but I had Dozer's Daily Deals in the coffee shop uptown for a while. I like to see Tipton grow, and I think it's important for us to all kind of take part in serving our community. I've been on the volunteer ambulance service. I was the president of the PTA of the school when it first got started, and got that off the ground. And I currently work at Mercy as a medical assistant in Cedar Rapids. I look forward to helping out in the community again. I enjoyed that. And when I worked for Glenn Eaton at the real estate office, he was on the council, and I just always thought that was a good thing to do and help support our community, and I'd like to do that as well. Thanks.
Any questions for Becky? No?
Nope.
No. Okay. All right.
Up action following there. My name is Connor McMahon. I've been a resident of Tipton for 12 years. My wife was born and raised here. Member of the ambulance and fire department for 10 years. Currently the second assistant chief on the fire department. Just something that interests me is giving back, helping out, which I do through volunteering on the services. And I thought that this would be another good way to give back to the community. Just something that I've always been interested in. So, questions?
Thanks, Connor.
Nope.
Yes, good. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. Any other discussion needed from the council? No? Okay. Any other discussion from the public before we close the public hearing? No? Okay. Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Motion by Helm, seconded by Cummins.
Cummins,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Postian,
yes.
Okay. Moving on to city business. First item under city business is discussion and possible action concerning the gas rate increase.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the same thing we have in the packet, right? It's just not, yeah, the highlight's better. Yep.
Before I get started, I want to make sure that Bill Lindley is online with us. Are you there, Bill?
I am here.
Okay, just real quickly, Bill, could you give everybody an idea of your role with Clayton Energy, your experience and your relationship with the city of Tipton?
Sure. I think, did you ask me to take it for now?
No, just explain your role with Clayton Energy and your experience and your
Okay.
relationship with us, and then I'll take it.
Sorry, Darren, I had a hard time hearing you. Okay, my name is Bill Lindley, and I represent Clayton Energy. Clayton Energy is a company that has been supplying municipalities since 1993. Actually, I worked for a couple companies prior to doing that, and I started my own business in 93. And now we serve about 95% of the state of Iowa on the municipal side. Our job is to manage all of the city's transportation contracts on Northern Natural Pipeline and to buy all the supply and to schedule it and balance daily because that's what the pipeline is required to do. So we have to come within 5% of what your community uses on a 24-hour basis. So it's a lot of monitoring, it's a lot of purchasing, and just a lot of management of the transportation to meet the needs of your community, whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, or elevators, and so forth. So that's what my company does. And like I said, we do it for the majority of Iowa. We have accounts in Minnesota, South Dakota, and Nebraska as well.
All right, thanks, Bill.
You bet.
So in the past year, there have been some discussions amongst the gas department, city administration, and our billing department about the possibility of a gas rate increase and whether it's necessary. The current gas rate was imposed in April of 2019. We've maintained that rate for over 6 years now. Obviously, in that time, there have been many changes in the economy: COVID, inflation, and price increases on just about everything we use or need. The conclusion of the group was to investigate this further. We were fortunate enough to be able to enlist the help of Bill Lindley from Clayton Energy to help us look at our gas department revenue and expenses over the last 3 years. He's been able to provide us with some valuable data and some options of new rates. The goal being to provide gas to our customers at a very competitive rate while maintaining an acceptable and necessary profit margin for the city. The results of Bill's study show that we indeed need to make some changes. As we navigate this change, we will provide you several options for new rates. Upon initializing a rate change and increase, we would simultaneously be eliminating the 15-cent add-on charge that was implemented a few years ago to recover from the severe price increase of 2021. In doing this, it will minimize the effect on the consumer and help offset a good portion of the price increase. This makes for perfect timing in making a change. We're also proposing to change from 4 billing categories to 3. I think I put 2 in the agenda, but found out later it's got to be 3. According to Bill, much of the state has made this change, with many of them even changing to 2 categories. This would help simplify things and make billing easier for our billing department. We would now have industrial accounts, commercial accounts, and residential accounts. Residential accounts are pretty obvious, and the industrial and commercial accounts will be separated by the amount of gas usage yearly. These accounts will be revisited every 2 years to evaluate usage and determine if change in account titles and rates are necessary. So I can go on now and go over with you the findings of Bill's study and show you where we would be if we make no changes at all. I will also show you the range in what is commonly being charged across the state of Iowa by the other municipalities. And finally, I can share with you a few increases that would be in everyone's best interest. I've also thrown together some examples in each of the 3 categories of what kind of increase gas customers may see in a few of the different rate proposals. So if you council members look at the sheet that I gave you, And sometimes, I know when Bill sent this originally, it looked like a foreign language to me. So I'll try to simplify it and just go over basic things that you really need to know. We use a little bit different encode, uses a different formula than what Bill uses. But for now, if you look at the highlighted $2 mark, that is currently what we are charging. If in fact we were to move forward without a change and eliminate the 15-cent add-on, if you look over in the far column of D and look at the average, that's what happens after a year. So you can see that's a pretty staggering number, and that change is definitely necessary. So Bill has helped share with us a lot of information, and I just want you to know that a lot of these rate studies and surveys are really expensive, and Bill didn't charge us anything for this. Like, he went out of his way, has been super about this stuff, and is extremely knowledgeable. So it's a huge asset for us to have him, and he can answer any questions if you guys have any that I don't know. But what he has told me and our group, if you look at those highlighted numbers on that side, the $3.50 highlighted range to the $4.25 highlighted range is what's commonly used across the state of Iowa right now for rates.
Darren, is that comparing all municipalities or municipalities of our same size?
The 95% of the state of Iowa.
Okay.
So obviously there's a little higher, there's some lower,
Sure.
but generally speaking, 350 to 425. Okay.
350 would do the 15 come off it also.
So that's a deceiving number. I'm just using it right now because we use a decimal formula as opposed to this formula. So like the $2, we use a 0.2 and use it as a multiplying factor. And it gets really in depth, and I don't want to bore you guys with that, or you spend a lot of time on it. But ultimately, what you want to see is obviously that last column, that D, and that'll show you on average of the past 3 years, if we change to that amount that's highlighted, that's your profit margin. Now, I went ahead and took the time to look up a couple accounts in each one to give you guys an example. And starting with residential, I looked at using the 375 mark. And making a change, we looked up a bill in January. And obviously January is going to be one of the biggest months for gas usage and the biggest cost. The first home I looked up, if we change to the 375, eliminate the 15 cents, you're looking at a difference in this one that month of $2.49. That's it. If we change that one to $4, change that residence to $4.55 more.
You said the first one was the 325, right?
375.
375.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So it's not a substantial, but you know, and every home is going to vary. I understand that. So I went ahead and looked up a second residence. This is Abby's house. And we all know she lives in a mansion.
Don't tell them where I live.
Yeah.
Don't show up in my house.
I was going to ask him if he did my house, but
I should.
Yeah.
You're very good for our gas
yeah, I know.
Anyhow, Abby's home, if we were to use a 375 increase and take that 15 cents off, her difference for that month of January was $6.01. If we change it to 4, it was a difference of just short of $11. Now, obviously, Tammy's home may change a little bit more than that, but this just gives you a good
To like 25.
gives you a good idea, generally speaking, of residents and really how little of effect I think it has. So those are 2 residents. I went ahead and looked at a couple commercial accounts because I think that and this is up to you guys, but I know there has to be a difference between industrial and commercial accounts. And just because of usage and numbers, I think they are different places on this sheet.
Yeah.
But residents and commercial is up to you guys. If you want to split them, you can. If you want to lump them into one, that's also a possibility as well. So I went ahead and figured that also. First commercial account I looked at 3.75, it was about $5 difference. And I looked at it at the 4.0 and it was about $8 difference. That was a smaller commercial account. So we went ahead and looked at another one, and Abby's familiar with this one as well. It's Cummins Manufacturing.
Don't show up there either.
So that one, they used more gas, obviously. The change for them at 3.75 is about $76 a month. At 4.0, it's about 120. Now, obviously, that sounds like a lot more money than residents. But when you figure the percentages, it's really not. So the percentage of change on that is about 3.5% change on the 3.75. And it's just a little over 5% change at 4.0. So just to give you some ideas. And then I did take a look at one industrial account, and I figured that one at the 3.50 because I felt like my personal opinion is obviously they should get the longer discount with the higher usage. At the 3.50, this commercial account or industrial account uses a lot of gas. At 3.5, it was a difference of $87. At 3.75, it was a difference of $153. So after looking at all this, I don't know if you guys want recommendations, if you want to just brainstorm. My thought is, if I would recommend anything, I'm thinking 3.5 for industrial, 3.75 for commercial, and residential. I think you guys can make that 3.75 or that 4.0. I think that's up to you guys. You can also hit amounts in between all of those. Those are just easier to figure for us. You guys have any questions?
How hard would it be?
Oh, go ahead.
If we said 3.75 now, and then in 2 years come back and revisit it and say, hey, maybe we need to bump that to 4.25. How hard would that be with the encode and all that?
So it's an ordinance change though too. So we'll
So
have to.
basically, you don't want to do it every 2 years.
No, you can do it every year if you want. We just have to, once we do it, then we'll have to come back and redo the ordinance too. So, which is.
Not saying it's a huge jump, but it's a jump.
Yeah.
And just if we
It's
kind of,
doable.
tear a Band-Aid off slowly, or we do it all at once.
So are you thinking 3.75 across the board, or just
No, for residential.
Just for residential.
I like the industrial commercial. To me, that's completely acceptable. I would assume.
What's the definition between the two, industrial and commercial?
So
Yeah, I was going to ask that same thing too,
it's
because
on usage.
Okay.
And there's a breaking point. 10,000 therms is what we use. And anybody that uses over that 10,000 figure is industrial.
Okay.
Anybody under that 10,000 figure is commercial. And upon researching this a little bit, because some of this is new to me too, I did find there's one or two accounts that have been at this at one point and right now are here, or vice versa. And so that's why in my opening I mentioned that every 2 years I'm gonna review that. And if anybody needs to change categories, they get changed. But I like the 2-year program, and I talked to Melissa about this too. I like it because sometimes you can have a really mild winter and nobody uses anything versus an extreme winter where everybody's using a ton. Where with 2 years at least you can average that out.
You know, Darren was saying that the state requires categories like residential, commercial, industrial. We were kind of tossing around different labels until we found out that you have to have those three.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there are some that fall into industrial that aren't really industrial, industrial property owners, such as school buildings can hit that. You can't make the case that they're industrial, but I suppose you could say, in doing that, you could say in your rates, industrial / heavy user, something like that. And maybe that would be a way to keep that label that the state law wants you to keep. But it can be confusing when somebody who's commercial is treated like they're industrial, and somebody who's industrial is treated like they're commercial.
I think there just needs to be that clear definition of
Right,
usage.
and a lot of people aren't going to understand or know their usage on a yearly basis.
No, because I think I'm industrial usage, aren't I? In my residence.
Going back to where you had $2. Were you saying that if the 15 cents was eliminated because of being in arrears for what we were going back to, what did you say, 21? Okay, if that was removed because that past come from behind, or whatever you want to call it, is the $2 where we would go
That's
back to?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to point out then, they have 3 years for each of these categories, each of these prices. So it's looking at our fiscal year 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24. So going back to the period ended last June 30, 24. And then averaging those. So we go back to that rate. On the average, we'll be losing $117,462 a year. And nobody wants to see that kind of impact. So what the council is looking at here is, can they find a range that is comfortable for both the public and for the utility to keep operating on? The 375 rate on the average would have a profit margin. Is that the term, profit margin? Of 90,800 roughly. At 350, it would be 132,431. The 375 that was just mentioned overall would bring in $174,080. So, one way of looking at this in some ways is in order to balance out things and work with the new property tax system the state's giving us, which seems to change every year. We've worked with pilot payments to help buck up our general fund so you won't lose a lot of the services that you receive now. Now, just to ask Jason a question, 375 was applicable to which category, or all, or
All.
all categories?
Well,
That's the
excuse
way
me,
this-
residential.
Okay. Now, I think this looked at everything as if everything was at 350.
Right, I think so.
So then if you're going to change that to where the 20 or so businesses on industrial are at a rate lower, then we have to fit, that would affect this 174,000 projection.
Correct.
So maybe with the council's instruction on where they want to be with these rates, maybe between you and Bill, you could do a redo of what that projection would become. Now, also, like Darren mentioned, we would be looking at an ordinance change, 3 readings, and let, you know, you have the ability to waive them if you want to, but 3 readings. So we could bring back an ordinance with whatever you come up with tonight. And hopefully those income projections for that night, and then you could review it again. If it's not where you want to be, then you can amend it during first reading, or we can come back following meeting with new numbers. So it's completely up to how you want to do it.
Obviously, we can't continue to lose money on a service. I mean, that's kind of asinine. So your recommendation was 375 on residential.
I would go probably 350 on industrial,
Okay.
and then commercial 375.
Okay.
And I could be swayed either way on residential. If you want to keep it the same at 375 as commercial, or if you want to make a difference there and put them at 4. I don't have a preference on there. I think it works.
And just to add what's being talked about, I believe it was Bill's recommendation, at least I think he told me, that there's a usage charge and there's a meter charge. And the recommendation was to leave the meter charge alone, leave it the same.
I guess my thought is the 375 for residential, and then following what you said. But I don't have a problem with the 4. I know a quarter doesn't seem much, but I know. I mean, I know we're gonna get some grief over it, but it needs to be done.
Jump it too high too fast, people are gonna.
Right, and that's kind of what I was saying. If we could do it in stages.
Right, and again, you know, when I looked at the percentages, it was a pretty minimal percentage.
Right.
And when you think about the fact that 6 years there's
Nothing.
nothing.
Exactly.
And part of the reason that we decided to look at this also was Virgil was still helping us as superintendent, and he'd had multiple increases in his gas city plans. So I know it's like, we need to look at this. I don't know that we're where we need to be. So I know that, you know, there was a lot of increases going on outside of us, but yeah, 6 years of no increases, I think it's pretty fair.
Yeah. How many businesses did you have as your example for commercial? What was the other business that was not? No, not what's the name? Can you give me the numbers again? Sorry. Can you give me the numbers again? That's all I want.
So that one was a smaller commercial.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. It was pretty minimal. It was $4.77 at 3.75. That was still a commercial.
Okay. And that was, okay. Yeah, I'm just asking because that would be a concern for me for like some of those small businesses. I just wondered how that's going to affect them because they're not making money.
Right.
You know?
And that again, $5. And remember, we're also talking about the coldest month of the year.
Right.
You know,
Right.
in the summer, it's gonna
I think in those examples, did you have what they paid for the whole month of January last year?
for gas.
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, if you have that example for one of those commercial businesses you
Absolutely.
mentioned.
So.
Thank you.
So the one we were just talking about, which was a smaller commercial account, their total gas bill was $202.91. Oh, I'm sorry. That is. Here it is. It was 131.08, and then the difference of $4.77.
That's at 350 or 375.
That is at 375. Yeah, so they use 131. Comparatively speaking to Abby's business,
their total gas cost for that month was $2,116. And that's why that went up $75, which amounted to 3.5%. The other one was also 3.5%.
Maybe okay with 375 for residential, industrial, I mean, commercial, 350.
I'm good with that, and then revisiting in 2 years.
That's it, 2 years?
Yeah, I know Bill's been very
Yeah.
open with us and say, hey, we can look at this every year if you need to. Hopefully that's what he'll say.
And I don't want to step on your toes saying the $4, which
No, and
I just, like I said, I feel like we should tear a Band-Aid off little by little.
Yeah, I'm fine.
But we need to not be in negative numbers. That's not a good thing. So I'll, if that's a motion, Mike, I'll second it.
This is just preliminary.
Okay, so the motion, just so we're clear, the motion is for the increase of residential and commercial to 375, industrial to 350. Correct. Okay. So motion by Helm, seconded by Poston.
Helm,
Yes.
Poston,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
May I just make a comment?
Mhm.
For being such a new gas superintendent, I think Aaron put a lot of time and effort into this. He was going between Melissa and me and the ladies downstairs. What about this rate? What about this house? What about this business? So between him and working with Bill, and Bill goes back, way back to when my time as a council member. I'm glad to have this relationship in that he can lean on Bill when he needs to, and there are times when he can still lean on Virgil when he needs those situations too. So I think he and those he worked with had a good process to get us to this point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I throw something in there? That is something that we can look at every year. So we can set wherever you set those rates at, we'll look at it and see how you're doing, and then we can make adjustments from that also. That's what I do with all the other communities, and they have the same rate structure you just implemented. So I think you're going down the right path.
Good.
Great. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
You bet. Thank you.
Okay, so we will move on to the second item under city business. This is resolution number 072125A, and that is the resolution approving the sale and transfer of city-owned real estate.
Second.
Okay, so we, sorry, I wasn't ready. So we have a motion then to approve the city-owned real estate, the 4 properties. Remind me, do we need a resolution for each one? We do, don't we? Did we do that? We did it for each one last time, didn't we?
I didn't think
No,
so,
didn't
did
we?
Yeah,
Okay, we
I
did them all in
think
one.
so.
Okay. I was thinking we did them individually. Maybe we just did the motions last
Yeah, I
time
think so.
individually. Okay. So we have a motion by Helm, seconded by Cummins, to approve the resolution as awarded previously, and there was no objections to the public hearing.
Poston,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Could I have one more comment to this one?
Yep.
You're full of them. Yeah, I know, and I'm just full of it tonight. Some of you, maybe all of you know that we've discussed some of the requirements that we've had in the RFP in the past, and that there have been other approaches to evaluating the proposals that have come in that don't necessarily line up with the RFP. There's the types of things that if they are specifics that the council wants to emphasize, or maybe give somewhat of a preference to, we should put that in this last upcoming RFP with, I think it's 5 properties. So everybody has a better idea of knowing what the score is before they go to the point of making a submittal. That's all I have.
Any additional comments to that needed? Okay. All right, moving on to item number 3, which is discussion and possible action concerning the seal coat on Plum Street from 5th Street to 7th Street. Oh, he is there. Can't see you. Do you have any additional comments other than what you put in the? Okay. Second. Motion by Helm, seconded by Cummins.
I got a question.
Okay.
Do I have
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Can I get one in there?
Yeah.
Do we need a seal coat? I'm pretty sure we asked this question when Plum was done, or at least I remember asking, shouldn't we be seal coating these after they're done? Because I remember that because from what I read, we should have been seal coating them after. And I remember it wasn't you, it was somebody else that said, no, we don't need to seal coat these. Maybe it was year. I remember we were noticing checking, and should we be seal coating them sooner than what we are, so we're getting more longevity out of what we're putting in? Otherwise, being on the streets committee, I'm pushing for concrete just
Right.
because we're not getting any longevity out of asphalt anymore. It's just it's 6 years,
Yeah.
and it's not you at all.
Well, let me just throw this out. That was I think, a bad batch of asphalt we got. We don't have any recourse after, no
Right.
maintenance bond after 2 years. It started alligator right away.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
We are seal coating it. It's in the packet tonight.
Yep.
That's telling us, give us a quote on double sealing it now so we can get a little more time out of it. But it started coming apart big time.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And some, you're right, there are some companies that recommend sealing the next year with asphalt. It's kind of hard to, you don't really need it in most places, but in that case, it would help.
Sure. Okay.
Just to clarify, I went back and looked at the bid specs for this project. And rather than requiring a 2-year maintenance bond, we actually required a 4. So it would have expired too, but it was last September.
Sure.
I just wonder, maybe we should just call whoever the contractor was and let them know that.
It's family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it isn't that far out of warranty. I mean, maybe they could help with the seal coating or something like that, you know.
And how do you want your relationship being with the
Right,
city
right.
going forward?
Yeah, it's not an unreasonable ask, really. Yeah. So do we want to
It needs to
add that caveat into the motion to ask
To reach out to them.
ask the contractor to?
Yeah, I wouldn't make it a requirement, but I think before we go ahead and tell Helen to go ahead, we should see where we can get.
Ask the question. Okay. So the motion is approving it regardless, but yeah. Okay. So it was motion by Helm, seconded by Cummins.
Yep.
Poston,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next item is discussion and possible action concerning moving the September council meetings to September 8th and 22nd. I think this is due to vacation. So staff.
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
And Labor
Yeah.
Day. Oh, Labor Day.
Yep. Motion.
Okay.
Approved.
A motion by Poston, seconded by Helm.
Helm,
Yes.
Poston,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Okay. Last item under city business is resolution number 072125B, and this is the resolution to appointing a new council member to fill the vacancy of first ward council person. Is there any additional discussion needed or questions for the applicants?
I'm gonna make a comment. Like, I can't believe there's 5. Like,
Yeah.
I know I ran against 2 other people.
Right, I agree. And 5 good ones.
Yes, I know.
I mean,
Like,
I agree.
I encourage everybody to, even if you don't run in the general election, because I don't feel like it's up to us to make this appointment.
Agreed. I would say that too. I would hope that no one would get discouraged because I thought all the letters were
Mhm.
well written. I thought your comments tonight were good. So
Well, and everybody,
I would hope that you would
Yeah.
consider if you
Myself,
don't get
I could make a
appointed.
recommendation. Seeing all 4 of them, all 4 gave a perfect example why.
One thing though is, if you're not selected tonight, please consider not petitioning a special election. When we got one coming up.
so what's the problem?
Somebody's got to make a
I mean,
motion
this-
to appoint someone.
This to me is,
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I will make a motion for Becky Bowen.
Okay.
That's fine. If it dies, it dies.
I'm like, is there a second or?
I would like to discuss it without him setting my minutes.
What? I didn't get
He wants to have it. He wants to discuss without the applicants present.
that would be up to them to volunteer if they want to leave the meeting.
It's up to you guys. You don't have to.
I feel like we're in a shooting squad.
It's,
Or
I mean, this is what being on the council is though. So they have to see that too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, they know.
You're not always gonna make choices that are gonna make everybody happy.
No, and trust me, I got yelled at this weekend, so I'm used to it by this point. That's why I have so much gray hair anymore.
You want me to give you access to my email?
Right. I'll make a motion for Connor McMahon.
I would second that.
This has never happened to us before, so let's see.
Remember now with 2 members not here, it might have to be 3 out of 3.
That was gonna be one of my questions, was that
So
if you
there's-
had enough
We
to
have to have
actually
3. We don't have, we're missing one.
if
We're
you
only
have
missing
enough
one.
to
We're
make
missing.
that-
You're only missing one, so you need.
We're missing one voting. Yes. We're missing
Okay.
2 council people, but one that one is because
One
they're
of
out there.
But can we table this till he's back?
Well, we have to have it done.
You have to have it done by the end of the month. So anybody know when he's back?
I don't know, but I'm leaving Wednesday.
He's my ride. Well, and it could be electronically too, unless that's not possible.
No, I can. I'm not gonna tell you what shape I'm gonna be in. Okay, strike that from the record. No, I will take, I will bring the iPad with if we need to do that. That's fine. Yep. Not exactly.
Yeah, what?
To me, we need to have a format. Look at everybody. And I'm just saying, this is what we do on the fire department. Everybody writes down your order. The top 2 go in, and then you make your vote on the top 2. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I've never had to do this. I mean, I ran against Abby when we did this. I lost.
And you're still here.
But yeah,
But exactly, the point taken.
bad habit,
can
still here.
win.
So are you feeling that you want to have time to think about this and have a special meeting then to further discuss? I mean, you have to discuss it in public forum because of.
If you have a special meeting, doesn't it have to be next week?
Well, we could do it Thursday.
You have to get 24 hours.
But it also depends on if Luke.
Right. Once we-
Hey, I don't have. I had
And
no
then-
idea. I didn't know he was
And
gone.
let's say Luke is back and it's still a split. It's not gonna,
Well, you have to be 3 out of 4. But
Mhm.
rather than 3 out of 3,
I do like Jason's idea, your top 2, write it down.
I don't
think you-
I'm not saying that you
I don't think
that
you
the
can do that.
firemen are doing it the wrong way, but
No.
in the public,
yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
you can't have anything like secret voting.
Okay. And that's where I haven't had to
But
do
for
this
them,
before.
yeah, for them, it's fine. Here, it's just a little different.
Also, we don't, we write it on the board.
I'm fine with that, but you're gonna have to let me know exactly when Thursday or whatever day.
Yeah.
So I make sure, because there is times down there that I don't have service.
We need to know when Luke's back.
But
Yeah,
we need to know
again,
when
that's
Luke is
assuming that Luke can.
Right now, we're all different ideas of what we want.
But you got a motion on the floor.
We do.
Second.
Exactly right. It still has to go
Mhm.
through.
Okay.
I think you're.
I
yeah.
did text them.
You what?
I think she still has to call him out and.
I said, so there's currently a
Yeah,
motion on
yeah.
the table for Connor McMahon, seconded by Posh and seconded by Helm.
Poston,
Yes.
Cummins,
No,
Helm,
I mean, we knew that's what I was gonna say.
Okay, so you don't have quorum. So then it has to be tabled.
Or
Mayor can't vote.
Or you run off the other names and see if you
He's
can
back
react.
tomorrow.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's true. You could, or you could throw somebody else out there.
I'll make a motion for Judy.
There you go. Got another motion.
second. I mean, we could do this all night. I think we need Luke
Okay.
here. I think we
So-
need Luke here.
Well, but if you have 3 people, I mean, if all 3 of you, no,
I don't think we will.
okay. Well, we have a motion and a second on the table, though. Okay, so you got a motion. Yeah, you got a motion from Helm for Judy Jenkins, seconded by Poston.
Poston,
Yes.
Cummins,
No.
Helm.
Yes.
But here's what's tough with that. I'm not against that, but now I'm at the point where I feel like we should have Luke vote, I guess.
Okay.
That's the bigger reason for my no at this point, is I feel like we should have that
Okay.
if possible. And if not, then I will change my vote.
What time would work on Thursday?
And
He's back on Thursday, sometime during the day, Thursday, or
I can do anything Thursday also.
Thursday back in Tipton. He's in the States tomorrow.
I think I'm good probably for any time on Thursday too.
I need to change it.
Yeah, anytime Thursday is fine.
Want to do noon?
I'll try. I mean,
Wanna do it-
Well, you got to be there. That's the whole point.
I
That's
know,
the point
but-
we're having.
What about 10?
I'm on vacation. Like I'm not gonna have a schedule.
So
No,
is
wait,
earlier or
what did you
later
say?
better?
What day?
What would you prefer? Thursday?
First.
We can do noon. That's
8 a.m.
10 o'clock?
10.
no, noon's fine.
Okay,
Noon on Thursday?
Yeah.
You can't-
I'm gonna call you
I'm
at
only
11.
going
I'm gonna call you at 11.
So noon won't work.
Noon's fine.
Noon won't work.
I have an
Out.
appointment, but I don't know what time until I have a doctor's appointment. Well, I can look it up. Let's say I have a doctor's appointment, but I don't know what time. But I can look on my chart. I'll tell
Still
you.
want to be on the council.
Mhm.
reception here.
Okay, let's give
I
Abby.
mean, honestly, if we do it early in the morning, I'm fine. Or
It's going.
10 o'clock, I'm fine with that.
I was gonna say 10 before you take off in the boat.
That's what I was just thinking.
Mhm. So if you do it at 10, you'll still be at the resort.
Yeah, I can do earlier.
Just plan on.
I have to be in Iowa City by 1.
So 10 o'clock would be okay for
10
you
o'clock
if
would
we
be
moved
fine.
it to 10?
Mhm.
Mike, is that okay for you?
Yeah,
10?
10 o'clock?
Yep.
Okay. So we will table this resolution.
And that's going to be online, or are we all meeting somewhere?
Electronically, probably, unless, is that okay with everyone?
Yep.
What's that?
And
If we do
that's-
an electronic meeting?
That's fine.
And that's open to all of them, right?
Correct.
Just so you guys know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll have to be posted. It'll have to be.
I will not be there.
It'd be electronically.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll just be, yep.
Okay. So we need a motion to table this resolution.
Motion.
Motion by Poston, seconded by Helm.
Passion,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Okay. Then moving on to reports. Any additional reports from the council members? Yes.
I was not forced to retire.
Yeah.
It's been in the works a long time. My wife retired at the end of the last school year in May. Going back, I thought about retirement. Going back probably 30 years. And I looked at different dates. Originally, I was looking at June 30th of this year, and then I was looking at the end of September, and then I was looking at the end of October, and my wife filled out the forms for me, and we came to December 31st. So I was not forced to retire. Thank you.
And then that's publicly recorded, so I can just send the link out whenever.
Okay.
I've been asked that question a lot the last week. All right.
Hey, one question. The publication requirement, Brian, for the vacancy,
Yeah.
is that going to be, are we gonna lose that though? Because we had the 4 and 20 and today's the 20.
But we had the public hearing.
Yep, so it won't matter if we do another special meeting.
Sure.
Okay.
Department heads? Anybody? No?
Just two things. Electric department hired a new employee, John Crowley, little kid. Been with us since the beginning of the month, doing really well.
He's not a little kid.
No, he is little. I
He's
mean,
like 25. I know, but the way you said it, it's like, it's not really a little kid.
He's young.
He's a little kid next to John. John's an old man, so.
Yeah. Second thing, North Avenue, we are getting really close to starting to wreck all the lines up there. We are now on the underground, and we're headed no longer. We've seen the take fire out of there.
Okay. Brad, do you have anything? Chief?
We've been doing a lot of nuisances, so I guess. Did not make any friends today.
Oh, is there a post? I haven't seen it. Okay.
But we
I will.
did put some stuff in, all in some-
All right. Denise left, didn't she? Like there was one more, but Denise left,
Yeah,
didn't she?
Denise is
Okay. All right.
Do you have a report?
I was making sure nobody else. Yeah, I was just trying to decide, do I have anything else? No. Okay. All right. Motion to adjourn. Motion by Helm.
Second.
Seconded by Poston.
Passion,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Helm.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, right?